The city of Lagos is adjudged as a mega city because of a sustained rapid economic growth, improved infrastructural services, a significant reduction in crime rates, most critically, a city with an estimated huge population of over 23 million people and still counting. What a unique city with a greater future. Let's talk Lagos. The success story of the city of Lagos today is as a result of dynamic, proactive, energetic, and pragmatic leadership under the current governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. So how well has the governor and his team fared in recent times with respect to some of the official engagements of Mr. Governor? Let's find out on the City of Lagos TV show. The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, recently presented a budget estimate of 2.2 trillion naira for the fiscal year to the State House of Assembly. The governor noted that the 2024 appropriation proposal will further cushion the effects of the fuel subsidy removal and other economic hardships on the people of Lagos.
It's with great sense of duty that I stand before you here today to present the year 2024 appropriation bill, which will be the first full year budget since the inception of our administration for our second four-year tenure in office. The hope for these challenging times. I'd like to start this address by acknowledging that we are indeed in the challenging economic times in our country. High, galloping inflation, high cost of living that have also been worsened by decisions of the removal of petrol and foreign exchange subsidies, which almost took this country to a verge of bankruptcy. The effect of these are being directly felt in lives and homes across the country. Higher cost of living, including feeding and transportation, with knock-on effects on various costs of life. As a government, we are not unmindful of these pains and shock, and we have one of the most important tasks at our hand to cushion the effect of these tough decisions and to alleviate the burdens of our people. At this time, we have to acknowledge that these difficult fiscal decisions of the past couple of months have been very, very necessary if we are to have a chance to succeed at creating a true and lasting prosperity for our country. Amidst global challenges, these policies have laid a strong foundation for economic rejuvenation, fostering an environment that is conducive for growth and stability. Our budget aligns with these national objectives and is designed to further propel Lagos towards prosperity, ensuring that we not only contribute significantly to our national economy, but also safeguard the welfare and the aspiration of all Lagosians. Mr. President has laid a very audacious step that he wants to create a $1 trillion GDP before the end of 2030. And I think this move have also been confirmed by international rating agencies like Moody, who just put our country on a positive trajectory. We know, therefore, that the story is not only of a challenging economic times, but also of immense accompanying opportunity. Lagos continues to attract huge investment that are creating jobs, contributing wages, and transforming local communities. This year alone, we have seen the completion and commissioning of the following major projects. The Lekki Deep Sea Port, which is the deepest deep sea port in the whole of sub-Saharan Africa. The largest single-train crude oil refinery in the world, which a few days ago we all witnessed the first shipment of its crude for processing. The Lagos Rice Mill, 32 metric tons, the largest in sub-Saharan Africa. The commencement of operation of the phase 1 of the Blue Line, a new assembly plants are among some of the towering investment that we have commissioned in the course of this year. We are partnering with the private sector also to establish here in Lagos Africa's premier international financial center. Our free zones are attracting new domestic and international companies who are battling on the premise and the potential of a new Nigeria. All of this and many more will have significant multiplier effects on our subnational and on our national economy. Lagos also continues to enjoy its status as the startup capital of Africa, as well as a prime investment destination for private equity and venture capital companies. We've seen inflows of investment in everything from undersea internet cabling to hyperscale data center to various innovative manufacturing and world-class financial service institutions. As we enter the new year 2024, there's a lot to be hopeful for, with the various economic and social investment policies and programs being put in place by the federal government and at various state levels. We'll expect a positive turnaround for better in the year 2024. Our T.H.E.M.E.S Plus agenda, where are we today? Mr. Speaker, members of the Lagos State House of Assembly, the process of putting together our 2024 budget, which is themed a budget of renewal, has been very carefully guided by our T.H.E.M.E.S governing agenda, which has been with us since the inception of our administration, and which has recently expanded with the T.H.E.M.E.S Plus. The Plus emboldening our renewed focus on social inclusion, gender equality, and youth development. Our goal, therefore, in Lagos, is no one should be left behind.
By virtue of the outstanding strategic pivotal role, involvement and practice of the Lagos State government in community policing, Lagos was privileged to host the first town hall meeting on community policing campaign drive by the Federal Ministry of Police Affairs, which is expected to spread nationwide. For the Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Police Affairs, IGI Sulaiman Ibrahim, FSI, and the Inspector General of Police, IGP Egbetokun, the choice of Lagos to kickstart the sensitization drive is because Lagos is a strategic, successful case model to actualize a modern, robust, proactive, and efficient policing across the country.
When the Honorable Minister first mentioned the idea of organizing a town hall meeting to me, I welcomed it with excitement, and the choice of Lagos to host the first edition was mutually accepted for obvious socio-political and sundry internal security considerations. The highly strategic initiative is critical to this administration's policing vision for various reasons. Firstly, as the team projects, the Town Hall Security Meeting will aid us in leveraging on community policing principles and practices towards building trust and partnership that will strengthen our policing strategies in a manner that will guarantee a safer Nigeria in line with Mr. President's internal security agenda.
The Ministry of Police Affairs and the Nigerian Police Force are working to develop and implement a roadmap, the Renewed Hope Police Agenda and a Transformation Roadmap, which is a bold initiative that would address existing challenges and reshape the Nigerian Police Force into a modern, proactive, and efficient institution. Achieving this transformation requires the commitment and collaboration of all stakeholders, hence the need for this community town hall meeting to interact and engage on what the direction of travel should be for the Lagos security and the country in general. And we chose Lagos State because they've been able to sustain their path in strengthening policing within the communities in Lagos. In the recent years, Nigeria has been confronted by a complex web of security concerns as seen on the map. So we have murder cases, we have armed robbery, kidnapping, banditry, and terrorism featuring strongly in the northeast and is becoming a thing of the past. Under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and efforts of the Inspector General of Police and his team, new grounds have been gained within a short period of time, but our challenges still remain. Nigerians' total population will double from 200 million to more than 400 million by 2050, according to estimates. We need to quickly strengthen police to be prepared to govern and, safeguard lives and properties.
In his speech, the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, analyzed the significant importance of the theme. He equally gave instances of the various initiatives of the state in community policing, which was responsible for the remarkable success in making Lagos a safe city.
Community policing, building a safer Nigeria together. And the word there is together, meaning that one person cannot do it, meaning that we all need to come together on platforms like this. I want to commend the ministry for organizing this town hall. I want to say that I think the team is up, and I think it resonates and it speaks to what global practices are. And everybody had said it. Community policing is not a new concept. I think it's the Deputy Commissioner that has said it has been in existence since. But over the past 2 to 3 years, it has featured more, especially here in Lagos with the SA, right? And we're taking it up. There was a long conversation around, state police and all of that. And I think it was Inspector General of Police then, that came up with the idea. And for us as Lagos, we embrace it fully. And you see the CP, the Acting Commissioner of Police, that said it, that for us as a government, we not just talk it, we need to act it. And we're supporting the Nigerian police to ensure that the conversation around community police is not just a concept, it's something that is real. It has been with us for over the years, and it is a process in which we want to use to adopt to effectively address the challenges of insecurity that manifest in rising issues that the minister mentioned: kidnapping, armed robbery, cultism, and all of it, rustling, and it's in different communities. So what usually happens in some part of the country might not necessarily be the issue that is happening in another part of the country. What is prevalent in one region might not be what is prevalent in another region. That's why, whilst we think globally, we need to act locally. We need to be able to domesticate what the issues are at the various, subnationals and the various communities that we have. And so the concept of community policing is receiving a wide acceptance because it emphasizes the involvement of the citizens, who are encouraged to collaborate with the partners, with the police and other security agencies to secure themselves and their community. And I think the acting commissioner had said it, the GM neighborhood ward had said it. The critical word there is an engagement between the community and the security operatives. And I'm happy that, even the caliber of the chairman of CAN had come up to confirm and to say to us that that is really what we have set up here in Lagos, and that's what they're doing.
And still from the governor's office, the art of technology 5.0 may have come and gone. But this year's theme, a creative economy and digital Lagos, for the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was indeed inspiring, thought-provoking, and clear indication that this series has indeed brought together visionaries, innovators, and leaders committed to propelling Lagos into the digital future.
It's another Art of Technology 5.0. And I'm indeed excited and happy that all of you can be here with us together again. And with the theme, the creative economy and a digital Lagos. What a moment. I want to say that year on year, we're challenging ourselves to even make it bigger and better than what it has been. It is usually a gathering that serves as a melting point for visionaries, for innovators, and leaders that are committed to propelling Lagos into the digital future. I see that future, and I believe that the ecosystem is also wrapped to see that future. Globally, we're doing more than 2 trillion, but Indeed, in Africa, it's just, a dot. We're far from it. We are really, really, really far from it. And globally, they say that industry employs over 50 million people. This year, as we convey under the theme Creative Economy and a Digital Lagos, a reflection of our dedication to a transformative journey where the fusion of technology and the artistic expression propels us into a global innovative hub, reshaping the economic landscape of Lagos.
The 8th Lagos Corporate Assembly event afforded the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the opportunity not only to interact with captains of industries, key industrial and commercial stakeholders, to dissect, analyze, and strategize on key policy issues with solution-driven insights, but to equally address the inevitable challenges in the Nigerian business and economic space. While attesting to key realities impeding on business growth in the city, the Lagos State Governor assured the business class to be hopeful.
We know too well that we're all in a very difficult terrain. I can see all the faces of businessmen here, and right in your heart, you're wondering, what is the next thing that can go wrong? And how do we mitigate and manage all of the risk, that we have seen in our environment? And as a simple businessman, who has been on this journey for 15, 20 years, you've seen it over and over again. You've had government promises, and there's been several, somersault of policies and ideas, and it's true. It's true because sometimes we cannot see through to the end some of the promises that we made. Sometimes it could be our own fault. Sometimes it also could be from the private sector. But more importantly, in the last couple of years, globally, there's been a lot of disruption. There's been a lot of uncertainty, that has brought about where we are. But we cannot give all of the reasons and excuses, for us not to be able to take forward, our businesses. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who coincidentally, you all know, had run this state before, had given us a ray of hope now. He had gone out in the last 5-6 months to converse, to be the cheerleader, to be the major spokesperson for this country, assuring, the international business community about the readiness of the country to be able to open up, right? You and I will walk and see, how well that turns out. But we need to be hopeful. We need to continue to still not throw in the towel and believe that if we're all in a hopeless case. Because indeed, in other jurisdictions too, there are very, very, very difficult, terrain that everybody is going through. But Nigeria knows, we know that there are a few things that we need to do well for us to be on that right track, of an enduring, sustainable economic development. And we all thought that, the pronouncement of the removal of petroleum subsidy, for example, 6 months ago, will indeed make that cost. Yes, you can say that there's been an increase in the revenue that has accrued because of the exchange potentials, they've removed, to the Federation account. But we did not anticipate a level of inflation and currency exchange that we have seen in the last 4 or 5 months, and which is where some of the challenges and questions we ask ourselves. Whilst I'm not an advocate, I'm not a spokesperson for the foreign currency market, I know too well that it's also not real. So the question is, how do we meet the unreal, foreign currency demand with the real market? There's so many, in my view, there's so many indices that need to be corrected. There's still a lot of speculators. There's still a lot of, demands that have been promised that has not been met, and so it continues to make business decisions, very difficult, and it continues to make, risk, analysis and assessment for your stakeholders and for your shareholders very, very difficult. But where we are, this is Lagos, right? And we are we're the economic commercial nerve center of our country. So we know that if we don't get it well here, it has a ripple effect on the entire continent.
During the interactive session The governor took time to confront the challenges of doing business in Lagos raised by key industrial and commercial players in the state, which borders on double taxation, manufacturing, overcoming top environmental policies, and other related matters.
So we will ensure that we have meaningful engagement at all times with the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Around multiple taxation, I think the chairman of LIRS is still here, and he can continue to explain the differences, what constitutes a regular tax payment, which, like he had mentioned, is not specific, right? And what constitutes fees and levies and other charges based on services that are being rendered. I know the issue around various agencies of government coming to your premises. I thought we had dealt with this very well in the last administration, and so that is the essence of this conversation again. There are new cabinet members, and we need to make mention of this again, especially to the Ministry of Environment, because a lot of those agencies are within the Ministry of Environment. We set up a joint working committee in the last administration where we agree that some agencies, LASEPA, LASWAMA, and all the agencies that are within a ministry, you must have a schedule together in which you can visit companies, manufacturing companies, so that you don't come, at multiple times and begin to disrupt their operation. I think the Honorable Commissioner will need to ensure that we bring that back if it is not working well, and you need to let the Manufacturer Association or LCCI be aware of who they are, and the general managers are here. We're saying it to you again. That's one of the things we did mention that we wanted to solve. For LOMA as well, they've also mentioned, why would you have expired PSP operators? You need to have a process where a month or two before the expiration of a PSP, if it is worth renewal, you give them the renewal. And you have a website. You can put on your website all of your current PSP operators. And so what you will now need to tell them is all the manufacturers, check our website, the current PSP operators for the year 2023, these are their names. And if it's a yearly thing, by January next year, there's nothing stopping you to determine if a PSP operator is worth renewal or not. So this is a commitment that we have to give to them, that we will never, ever again have, PSP operators that will come and lie to them that we're in the process. We're in process of what? So you can get your PSP operators well registered and give them their licenses. They said they want a reduction in effluent charges. LASEPA, you don't need to kill them. They spend a lot of money, putting up. The bottom line is that if the treatment plant that they have is working, is functional, we shouldn't kill them. How much is the total money you are charging? There could be small fees for your administrative charge, but not to kill. It shouldn't be anything for them to even be able to complain about. Yeah, the bad road. Okay, she's reminding me. I think I know the road. When he mentioned I came to commission the face mask, this was about 2021. So what we'll do, LIRS, so this is business-like now. Let us check. We'll just do a quick check and see the compliance level of the companies on that rule. Then we can now indeed set that and ensure that come next year, we'll put monies on the table for them. The amount of our commitments, is huge and is enormous, and our resources will never be able to. It's one of the things that we'll keep saying in Lagos is that, okay, so for next year's budget, let me just give an example. Sit down, please. For next year's budget, and you see how we're driving ourselves. The total, when we had what we call a bilateral meeting, all the agencies will come and roll out what their plans are, what they want to do. They came up with a total budget of about 7 trillion. That shows this is what we want to do if we have the resources. This is what we should be doing. So we're not just throwing numbers up and we're achieving 40 or 50% budget performance or 60. There is no year in this administration that we have done less than 90 or 93% of our budget. And the remaining 5 or 7% will be shortage of revenue. So what am I saying? Our budget that we're going to present to the House, well, at the risk of mentioning a figure, it's about 2 trillion or something. But what I'm trying to explain is we have the capacity to do up 7 trillion. We have the demand, the need for us to serve you up to 7 trillion. But our resources, our revenue is far from it. So we have to cut, our expectation to what is available. We're not a sovereign that we can use the Tonga and use the power of a sovereignty like our big Nigeria is doing to be able to, we can't come up with other instruments to make it happen. And so that is one of the challenges that we have. So it's only how much we can generate that we can spend, and we can spend, responsibly.
For the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the 20th anniversary of Lamata is not only a grand celebration of outstanding success, but also a remarkable milestone in the history of transportation transformation in the city of Lagos and Nigeria as a country. The memorable event was characterized by the launching of the second Lamata Compendium, the presentation of the Lamata Transport Card, and presentation of awards to outstanding staff and personnel who have made immense contribution to the success of Lamata over the years, as well as a raffle draw exercise to reward staff. Taking guests down memory lane, Governor Sanwo-Olu gave a brief but precise historical birth, growth trajectory of the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Lamata, he equally cited significant achievements of the agency.
I was opportune to be in the cabinet of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu when Lamata was birthed about 20 years ago, precisely on the 2nd of December 2003. And it happened just around here in Ikeja. And it was just like any other agency that was being birthed. But if you look back and you see what Lamata has turned to, what it means is that right from the beginning, Lamata was well conceived, Lamata was well put together, Lamata was well funded, and we have the best of the brains at that time that were staff of Lamata. Tonight, we gather not just to reveal in festivity, but to reflect upon and to celebrate 2 decades of groundbreaking achievements in urban transportation. I'm happy to stand before you here today to celebrate the incredible journey of Lamata, what it has taken from inception. I'm also glad to say that we have created in a city mobility efficiency that is safe, that is sustainable, and is also accessible. Today, we look back and we see the realization of that vision, which is one of the enduring legacies of, we cannot celebrate him enough, of our President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. One of the major accomplishments of Lamata has been the implementation of our integrated and multimodal transportation system. From the introduction of our bus rapid system, there's been a lot of firsts that Lamata has been able to create for us as a city, as a state, and as a country. Lamata today has shown that indeed when we put our heart and our mind to things, there is nothing that we cannot achieve. And we can see that with the full implementation and completion of the Blue Line that we're all celebrating today. It was started, it was conceived as part of the robust transportation master plan, and it was started several years ago, and we're happy that this government were able to put strategic financing and creative financing together for us to be able to complete the Blue Line that is working and is carrying over 20 to 25,000 passengers on a daily basis right now. Another first which Lamata also has done is the cowrie carts that we see today. Today, I'm told that we've been able to hand over 4 million cowrie carts to all manner of citizens and all manner of commuters in Lagos State. The plan is by 2030, we should have over 10 million cowrie cards in Lagos. Is that not so? By 2030, we should have about 10 million cowrie cards in our system. Today, Lamada also has birthed several new initiatives. We have started with electric vehicles. We have started conversation around ensuring that we have an efficient and effective mobility system.
And finally, from the governor's office, the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, recently swore in a new special advisor on works and housing and a commissioner for the Energy and Mineral Resources Ministry into the State Executive Council. Mr. Governor, who affirmed their level of competence and professionalism, charged them to live up to expectations.
On behalf of our entire members, we want to welcome you into our fold. We want to say to you that indeed, this is the highest decision-making body of Lagos State Government. This is where decisions are made, deliberations are conducted, and we do that in a way and manner that is business-driven. We take ourselves very seriously, and we implement knowing fully what the responsibilities of the office are, what the expectations of the citizens are, and what our driving objectives are as a government. It's clear that you will add value. It's clear that we've been carefully chosen. It's clear also to us that indeed you have a pedigree that can very well take those your responsibilities to an enviable position. But more importantly is really for me to talk about the two gentlemen. Engineer Daramola, like the head of service enviably had said, up until very recently, he was a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. He's a young man that I have also followed up, and I've seen the tenacity, the commitment, and his resolve, to ensure that he puts in his very, very best into assignments and responsibilities that have been given. And it's a testament to all other public officers, civil servants, that indeed the Lagos State Executive Council is not an exclusive preserve of external appointees. If you have done well and will see it, you can indeed get on to this level, and I'm sure there are other permanent secretaries that would aspire to get to this level. So the head of service, you are not the only one. We've given to you, a former permanent secretary who we know too well that he will bring a wealth of experience into his office as special advisor in the Office of Infrastructure. So I want to wish you all the very best. To Mr. Biodun Ogunle, you can see that he's a man that has a lot of energy. And don't worry, this cabinet will show you and share those energies with you. And it's not a coincidence that he's the Honorable Commissioner for Energy, and Mineral Resources. So this is an important office. It's an important ministry for us because we led in the conversation at the actualization of the unbundling of that sector as a government. And so we'll carefully brought in, someone that we believe that can help achieve and realize the energy sufficiency that we require in Lagos, the needs of the Lagosians, and the aspiration that every household has, that they want power. They want a sector that will be completely, unbundled. They want a sector that will meet, the yearnings of the citizens. And we believe with your expertise, with your industry knowledge, with your wealth of experience, knowing fully well that you bring that to bear. We hope that you will hit the ground running, knowing fully well what are the expectations, of that important office.
That's a wrap from the Governor's Office segment on the City of Lagos TV show. You're still watching the City of Lagos TV show on TV Nigeria. Up next is Infrastructure Lagos, where we keep you posted on developments, efforts, initiatives, and progress report on infrastructural projects of the Babajide Sanwo-Olu-led government. for a greater Lagos. We'll be right back. You're welcome back on Infrastructure Lagos today on the City of Lagos TV show. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is about to break another major traffic jinx when the fast-paced ongoing road and bridge project at Okpebi, Mende, Ojota Link Bridge and artillery works is completed. This was very evident with the recent inspection tour embarked upon by Mr. Governor alongside some of his cabinet members recently. Mr. Governor, who spoke to the press, gave a clear description and explanation on the extent of the job, the likable completion period, and the potential relevance and benefits of the infrastructural project to Lagosians.
This project was conceived about a year, not up to a year and a half ago, over a year ago, which is meant to solve a major traffic problem, but also to provide alternatives for our citizens, people that are coming from Toyin, Allen, Okpebi. How can they access, the Ojota Bridge? People from Maryland, how can they go on straight into Ikeja? So it will solve a lot of the alternative problems that we have either on Kudirat Abiola Road, even going as far as going towards Alausa. If you're also trying to solve the major traffic issues we have on Mobolaji Bankantoni Way, and all of it. And as you can see, we're on top of the new bridge, which has the Odoyalaru, stream right under this bridge. So this bridge, well, these link roads and bridges, as you can see, is in a very tough terrain. Apart from the main bridge that you see, there are also additional bridges both on my right, and even all of the slip roads are like decompile, meaning that they are bridges, in their own right, because you can see that the soil texture are really, really bad. In fact, the project manager, Julius Baja, says they have to do excavation of over 20 meters in some places, just so that they can preserve, the land, and they can work seamlessly. So part of the things that we see as a small problem is how to now link this place with Ojota. They've done a bridge to our right there, but the road connection has to also go under this old bridge at some point. And so there are a few issues there that they need to remove, and also all of the connection around underneath this bridge. You can also see that there are one or two houses that they have to, take down and rebuild their fences down there. But I think what this has opened up to is that this is an economic development that we're changing the face of traffic management, we're changing the face of commuting in Lagos, and we're changing the face of access to modern infrastructure, roads, and development. The idea say that some of the downside that you see is that because people that are also building in this terrain have not done all the work that they need to do. We notice that there are some buildings on my right-hand side there that appear as if they are tilting, right? And you can see it for yourself, the gentlemen of the press, that indeed, in due course, some of those buildings will need to come down, if they are not currently also on their own taking down those buildings. So that's why we always advise, our citizens that you just don't see a land and you start building. You just don't see a piece of land and you go on it and start building, because the consequences of not doing the right thing is that it will catch up with you. I'm impressed with the amount of work that Messrs. Julius Baja has done here. And we came here last was, I think, about 11 months ago, was in January or so, or February. And between that time and now, this bridge was not in existence at that time. There was barely nothing. You know, I'm happy with the level of work that we've seen thus far. We're still on track with the commissioning, with the completion rather. We're still hoping that by the second quarter next year, towards the third quarter, they should finish this entire road construction so that we can hand it over to the citizens and also can be available.
And that's it on Infrastructure Lagos on the City of Lagos TV show. Do care to join us on the program for more robust reportage on infrastructural progress made by the Babajide Sanwo-Olu-led government. So when you think Lagos, think the City of Lagos TV show. You can watch us more on our YouTube channel, TV Nigeria 808, or on our web TV, www.tvnigeria.ng. You can also follow us on our Facebook, TV Nigeria, and Instagram page, TV Nigeria 1. Thanks for watching. Lagos is sure a crowd puller because of the prospect of well-paid work and the attraction of an urban lifestyle. Keep loving this city until we come your way again next week. Thanks for watching.